Right now, millions of Americans are watching prices rise, rent go up, and savings go down. And the last thing anyone expects is their own mail system becoming another threat to their financial security. But here we are. January 2026 is bringing new USPS rules that could affect how fast, how safely, and how reliably your most important documents reach you. Think about it. Your Social Security letters, your Medicare forms, your tax documents, even your mail-in ballots, all of that depends on the mail. And when the mail slows down, gets rerouted, or becomes more expensive, it's not politicians who feel it first. It's you, your family, and your wallet. This is not just about envelopes and stamps. This is about benefits, deadlines, and rights. And if you miss something important because of a delivery delay, the consequences can follow you for months, sometimes years. So today, we're breaking down exactly what's changing, why it matters, and what you need to watch for. Because this update could quietly affect millions of Americans who are already stretched thin. And trust me, the part about ballots and benefit notices, you're going to want to hear this. What's actually changing? So, what's the main issue? Starting in January 2026, USPS is adjusting how it handles different categories of mail. That includes delivery speeds, routing systems, and how certain types of mail are prioritized. Here's what that means in simple terms. Some mail may take longer to arrive, some routes may be consolidated, certain delivery standards may change, and when delivery standards change, deadlines don't. Government agencies still expect paperwork on time. Banks still expect payments on time, and benefit programs still follow strict schedules. This creates a dangerous gap. Slower mail, same strict rules. For families living paycheck to paycheck, that's not a small inconvenience. That's stress. That's anxiety. That's the fear of missing something critical that affects your income or health care. And remember, not everyone can just switch to online systems. Seniors still rely on paper mail. Rural communities depend heavily on USPS. Low-income families may not have stable internet. So while the system changes on paper, the real-world impact lands hardest on people who can least afford disruption. And now let's talk about what that means for your benefits. Social Security. When timing is everything. If you or someone in your family receives Social Security, you already know how important every single notice is. Payment schedules, eligibility reviews, benefit adjustments, all of that still comes through the mail. Now imagine this. A letter about benefit verification arrives late. A response deadline is missed. Payments are delayed or paused. That's not just paperwork. That's rent money. That's grocery money. That's medication money. Even small delivery delays can create big problems when agencies depend on strict timelines. And once benefits are paused, fixing it can take weeks or even months. What's especially concerning is that many benefit recipients don't regularly check online accounts, may not receive email alerts, trust paper mail as their main source of updates. So when delivery timelines shift, people may not even realize something is wrong until the payment doesn't arrive. And Social Security isn't the only program affected. Medicare is next, and that one hits your health care. Medicare, paperwork that protects your health. Medicare depends heavily on mailed documents, enrollment notices, plan changes, billing statements, and coverage confirmations. Missing or delaying those can directly affect medical access. Here's why that matters. Enrollment windows are strict. Plan changes have deadlines. Appeals require fast responses. If paperwork arrives late, you may lose coverage options without even realizing it. Now imagine you go to the doctor and suddenly your coverage isn't what you thought it was, or a prescription gets denied because a form wasn't processed on time. That stress doesn't just affect your budget, it affects your health. And for seniors managing multiple conditions, healthcare delays can be dangerous. Not just inconvenient, dangerous. USPS changes may sound technical, but to patients it can mean delayed care, unexpected medical bills, lost opportunities to switch plans. And if you think healthcare is stressful, wait until you hear how this could affect your taxes. Taxes. Deadlines don't care about mail delays. Tax season is already stressful enough. Now imagine worrying whether your documents even arrived on time. Many Americans still rely on mail for sending tax forms, receiving IRS notices, submitting identity verification. And the IRS is known for one thing: deadlines are deadlines. If something arrives late or goes missing, penalties can add up, refunds can be delayed, disputes can take months to resolve. That means more stress, more paperwork, and more time spent fighting issues that started with a simple delivery problem. And here's the worst part: the burden usually falls on you to prove you sent something on time. So if postal timelines change and tracking becomes harder, that's not just annoying, that's risky. But the most emotional impact? It may hit your right to vote. Mail-in ballots. When every day counts for millions of Americans, mail-in voting is not a convenience. It's a necessity. Seniors, disabled voters, rural residents, and military families rely on timely mail to participate in elections. Now think about this. Ballots must be sent out on schedule. Voters must receive them in time. Ballots must be returned by deadlines. If delivery windows shift, even small delays can mean votes that never get counted. And no matter your politics, everyone agrees on one thing: your vote should not depend on how fast your mailbox works. Any changes that affect delivery timing automatically raise serious concerns about access and fairness. That's why election officials and voter advocates are watching these USPS changes very closely. Because once ballots are late, there's no second chance. And now, here comes the part most people aren't talking about yet. Wait for it. Moment. The hidden cost factor. Here's what rarely gets mentioned. Delivery changes don't just affect speed, they can affect cost too. When routes are consolidated and logistics shift, some services may become more expensive. Special handling may cost more. Businesses may pass costs to customers. And guess who ends up paying? You. Whether it's higher fees for certified mail, document tracking, or shipping important paperwork, these small increases quietly drain household budgets over time. For families already dealing with rising utility bills, higher food prices, expensive health care, even tiny added costs can hurt. And the scariest part? Most people won't notice the pattern until months later when they realize they're spending more just to manage basic responsibilities. So what should you actually do about this? Let's talk protection, not panic. How you can protect yourself right now. This is not about fear, it's about preparation. And there are smart steps you can start taking now to protect yourself and your family. Here are a few powerful habits. Sign up for online accounts with SSA, Medicare, and IRS. Enable email or text alerts when available. Keep copies of everything you mail. Paper is still important, but backup systems are your safety net. If you must mail something important, use tracking when possible. Mail earlier than the deadline. Keep receipts and confirmation. And for voting, stay informed about ballot request deadlines, drop-off options, local election rules. Being proactive gives you control in a system that may become less predictable. But why is all this happening now? Let's talk about the bigger picture. Why USPS is making these changes. The Postal Service has been under financial pressure for years. Rising costs, declining letter volume, and aging infrastructure have forced major restructuring efforts. These changes aim to reduce operating costs, improve long-term sustainability, modernize delivery systems. But modernization doesn't always mean faster or easier, especially during transitions. Any large system shift creates temporary disruptions, and when that system is responsible for delivering legal, financial, and medical documents, even small disruptions feel huge to families. The challenge is balancing survival of the service with protecting the people who depend on it the most. And unfortunately, those impacts are not spread evenly. Who feels this the most? Not everyone is affected the same way. The people most at risk include seniors, rural communities, low-income households, people with disabilities. These groups rely more on physical mail and often have fewer digital alternatives. When systems change, flexibility matters, and not everyone has it. Missing a bill, a benefit notice, or a medical form can quickly spiral into, late fees, coverage gaps, administrative headaches. And once those problems start, they can take months to fix. So what's next? Are more changes coming? What could happen after January 2026? January 2026 is not the end of the story. It's likely the beginning of a longer transition period. Future adjustments could include further route restructuring, more automation, continued service shifts, which means staying informed will be more important than ever. Waiting until something goes wrong puts you in reaction mode. And when it comes to benefits, healthcare, and taxes, reaction mode is stressful and costly. So let's talk mindset, how to stay ahead, not behind. Staying ahead in a changing system. The biggest mistake people make is assuming systems will work the same way forever. But government programs evolve and services adapt. Your best defense is awareness, not panic, not rumors, just reliable updates and smart planning. That means following trusted news sources, checking agency announcements, not ignoring official letters. Staying informed is no longer optional. It's part of protecting your financial stability. And that brings us to the bigger message of this video. This is about more than mail. At the heart of this story isn't envelopes or trucks. It's security. It's knowing your benefits will arrive. It's trusting your healthcare coverage. It's believing your vote matters. When systems shift, people feel vulnerable. And in uncertain times, stability matters more than ever. That's why conversations like this are so important. Not to scare, but to prepare. Not to divide, but to protect. And now, here's what I really want you to remember. Let's recap quickly. USPS rules are changing in January 2026. Delivery timelines and routing may shift. This affects Social Security, Medicare, taxes, and ballots. Some communities face higher risks. Preparation is your best defense. Ignoring this doesn't make it go away. Being informed gives you power. And while you can't control national systems, you can control how ready you are. Now let's finish strong. Your financial future, your health care, and your voice in this country are too important to leave to chance. Changes are coming, but knowledge puts you back in control. When you stay informed, you protect your family, your income, and your peace of mind. This channel is here to break down complicated updates into simple, real-life information that actually helps you. No politics, no panic. Just what you need to know to stay ahead. If this video helped you understand what's coming, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay with us because more updates are coming, and you deserve to be ready. And remember this, the system may change, but your future is worth fighting for, planning for, and protecting. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next update.